You are Locked On Pistons POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into a live Locked On Pistons POSTCAST. I'm your host, Jake Riepma. Fired up as always to be with you after a Pistons victory. They take control of this one from the beginning. 122-96 winners over the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to break it all down. Here's what's coming up next. No Cade, no problem. 30-plus assists for the team and a breakout performance from Marcus Sasser. Of course, I'll have my turning point of the game and our player of the game, as well as what everyone will be talking about. So buckle up. Come along for a live Locked On Pistons POSTCAST. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. Don't forget your favorite podcast. The Locked On Pistons podcast now has a newsletter. Make sure you check it out at lockedondaily.com. It's for free, so sign up for free today at lockedondaily.com. And shout out to the regulars on a Locked On Pistons POSTCAST. Always happy to hear your post-game comments. Let me hear them in the chat on the comment function. And if you're catching the audio-only version, we appreciate you listening in as well. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. And no Cade, no problem. And good for him, able to get some rest as the Pistons cruise to another victory. And they really took control of this one. And by taking control, I mean a stranglehold over the San Antonio Spurs in the second quarter, to the tune of holding the Spurs to 12 points in the frame. I mean, this one really did feel like it was over after that second quarter of play. Yeah, the Spurs made a little bit of a run there in the third quarter, but my goodness, in that second quarter, the Spurs made just 2 field goals. I mean, it was insane. They went 11 minutes without scoring. And anytime you do that, that is a recipe for success. I think 2 things can be true. I think it was good defense from the Detroit Pistons, a energized group of Detroit Pistons, and a high effort group, but also a San Antonio Spurs team who, make no mistake about it, given the injury status of not only Victor Wembanyama, but several guys that they had out, and just being on the road trip, they were kind of checked out tonight. But that being said, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the Spurs, because still a formidable team, having won their last 2 games entering play tonight. But they were in Toronto on Sunday. They had the Pistons tonight, and then they finish off their road trip against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is also the Pistons' next opponent. So looking forward to that, because the Detroit Pistons will have the Cleveland Cavaliers at home on Friday, which is the second night of a back-to-back for the Cavaliers. But we know they're going to be coming full steam ahead. But lots of comments already filling up. I keep going back to it, but no Cade, no problem in this one, because, man, we saw the emergence. And for me, it was a reminder of how good Marcus Sasser can be. A career high tonight for him. It wasn't just the points, but obviously we're going to start there with how well he was able to score the basketball. 27 points off the bench. He was plus 21, 9 of 12 from the floor. Got it done from the long line as well, 5 of 7. And the way he created some of those shots, he was smooth with the basketball. He was in control. He had the 2 turnovers, but really an efficient night for Marcus Sasser, and a testament to the character that he brings to this team, and the entire roster, for that matter, has the personality traits of being resilient. And even though Marcus Sasser has faced some adversity this season with his playing time being so limited, especially with the addition of Dennis Schroeder at the trade deadline, you know, a guy like Marcus Sasser to, I don't want to say fall out of favor, but that happens in competitive athletics. It happens in college athletics and high school, whatever it is. You just, guys that might be capable and very, very solid overall players just find their way, you know, limiting playing time and slide down in the rotation because other guys are stepping up. And that's exactly what you saw. But Sasser didn't compartmentalize it. He didn't stew over it. He just made the most of his opportunity tonight by balling out with a career high 27 points, which you love to see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and make that our talking point tonight. Marcus Sasser, my friends, is what we'll all be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Gonna get that right one of these times where all of a sudden you don't talk about what you're going to be talking about before the month. You know how it goes. We're working through it here. But the Pistons in their bad to the bones jerseys, I love the black and orange look. I think they wear them just about the right amount. Get the win tonight. And Marcus Sasser's career high is what we'll all be talking about. Now, something else I wanted to bring up that I think we can all get very excited about. I made sure I have this correct. Pistons now 1 win away from tripling their win total from last year. They'd be the first team in NBA history to triple a win total. That is just insane. And let's go ahead and start the campaign now, although it's been started for a while. But JB Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year, Trajan Langdon, Executive of the Year. I mean, it's just an open and shut case. And I won't listen to anyone that says otherwise. And I'll get fired up if anybody tries to debate me on that. I mean, you're talking about an unprecedented mark that's about to be accomplished in NBA history for the first time, tripling a win total. I mean, come on, people, come on. That's insane. You absolutely love to see it. The resurgence of the Detroit Pistons has been special, and we're getting to the point now where it becomes expected, and that's the type of mentality that you wanted to be developed in the Motor City, and it's happened so much sooner than we all could have imagined, and that is great news for everybody. Let's say hello to everybody checking in because, hey, I appreciate the comments. And Dan is up first. Dan Seidel, Sasser was balling. Indeed, he was. There is no doubt about that. Demetrius McNeil is up. Big Sean's birthday present, watching the Pistons win their 31st win of the season. Next, yeah, Big Sean was there. Last night took the L, but tonight, all right, I'm not going to do that. Oh, goodness. But yeah, you got to love the Big Sean showing out for the Detroit Pistons, showing them some love. That's good stuff. Of course, he's a figure in the Motor City. But Pistons all over the San Antonio Spurs. It was not close. They had a huge lead at halftime, nearly a 30-point lead at halftime, scoring 60 points the first half. And you want to say they took their foot off the gas a little bit in the third quarter, gave San Antonio a little bit of life, sure. But in the course of a 48-minute ball game, the Detroit Pistons did not. Again, they led this one wire to wire, and there was never any doubt. And it's a testament to how well this team played. For the 5 starters in double figures, and then go ahead and give, of course, Sasser's career high 27 off the bench, and Malik Beasley with 13 off the bench. You got to love what you saw from the Detroit Pistons tonight, and then Friday night, we'll see against the Cleveland Cavaliers. That will be a great measuring stick, a good benchmark game. We love to talk about that. And the Pistons and Cavaliers obviously have met quite a few times this season. With the Cavs, I believe the Cavs won the last time these two teams played. I'm just going to double check because the Cavs, that's right. The Cavs won that really close game at the beginning of February, 118-115. And then they won in late January pretty handedly in Cleveland, 110-91. And then won again by 12 in Cleveland back in October. But the Pistons, of course, a different team. But hey, it would be nice to at least salvage one game from the Cleveland Cavaliers this season, with Cleveland winning all 3 so far. But we'll talk more about this one. I've got my turning point player of the game, and we'll tie a bow on it as we break down some of JB Bickerstaff's post-game comments and Marcus Sasser's comments as well. But the Pistons cruise to the victory in this one. Your Locked On Pistons post-game show rolls along right after this on a live Locked On Pistons postcast. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Pistons postcast is brought to you by Monarch Money. Let me tell you all about Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go between dining out online shopping and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, my friends. Listen up. Monarch Money is your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. No, it's much more than that. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. That's what it's all about. And hey, I love the surprising insights. When I started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much I was spending on food. I'm a fat ass sometimes. All right, I probably shouldn't say that, but I just wanted to get your attention there. But we can spend money on food delivery, but now with Monarch, I budget smarter and save more. The easy collaboration tool makes managing money with your partner very smooth as well. So you can track shared accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without any of the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. That's LOCKEDONNBA as your code at monarchmoney.com. Detroit basketball. Wow, it's good to be with you on a live Locked On Pistons postcast, and great to see the Detroit Pistons do what they do. I think it's safe to say this team is a problem for the Eastern Conference and certainly poised for some playoff movement, making some noise in the postseason. Or the guys on the post-game show, Mickey York, talking about it, and I didn't see who was with him as I was getting the broadcast set up, but I think it's pretty safe to say that the Pistons are the most feared of the Eastern Conference teams that aren't the upper echelon, or even I'll say the jugulars, right? The juggernauts is probably a better way to put that. The jugular being part of your neck there. So just, words are hard. Bear with me, just making sure everyone's paying attention tonight. But the juggernauts in the Eastern Conference at the top of the conference don't want to play the Detroit Pistons. I think we can all agree with that. And I think they'd tell you that, especially when you got guys like Marcus Sasser stepping up and adding to the depth that this team has, the way they defend. And what makes them so tough is just the mentality that they bring and embody with them in each and every game. But time now to bring in our turning point of where this game changed.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Second quarter, you go 11 minutes without scoring, or you hold a team to 0 points in 11 minutes, you're going to win a lot of games, especially when the Pistons were able to take advantage of it in the second quarter and outscoring the San Antonio Spurs 30-12 in that frame. And so the way the Spurs fell in love a little bit with the three-pointer, it was kind to them in the first quarter. It was not kind to them in the second quarter. So that's going to be a big factor, but that's where this game turned. Make no mistake about it. And unfortunately for the San Antonio Spurs, and really, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but it was just such a big hole. No, they weren't climbing out of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, you get that down that big, and it's tough sledding. So that is your turning point. And I think we all know who tonight's player of the game is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Career high, Marcus Sasser. Come on down. What a game he played tonight. Show some love for Marcus Sasser in the comments. He was impressive, and man, it was great to see because he's earned that, and he's done it the right way. He has been a consummate professional despite his role being downgraded quite a bit. He stepped up tonight and showed and reminded me and many others of how good of a player he can be. So the Pistons topped the Spurs rather easily tonight, wire to wire, 122-96, 41st victory of the season. they have almost tripled their win total from last season. One more win. Also, career high Jalen Duren in assists. I should have mentioned that way earlier, but great to see that as well. He was dishing out the Rock 7 assists for him. Pistons up next, we'll take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking forward to that one. We'll have a live Locked On Pistons postcast for that 6 o'clock. And we are just days. I'm sorry, the game tips off at 7. So we will be on after that. And we are just days away from Tiger baseball. This is your reminder. We will have Locked On Tigers post-game shows as well. Shout out to Scott Bentley and the Locked On Tigers crew. Looking forward to baseball post-game shows as well. And I've got some news for everybody as it relates to me with Locked On. I'll share that in one of the later postcasts once it's official. So there you have it. Thanks as always for being on the broadcast. We appreciate it. And my goodness, you guys are the best. Locked On Pistons is the best. Shout out to Koo. Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Looking forward to that. Locked On Red Wings with Brian Fisher and Scott Bentley. Locked On Lions with Matt Derry. Locked On Wolverines with Isaiah Hull. You guys are at the right place. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. Sign up for that newsletter at lockedondaily.com for your Locked On Pistons content. Until next time, have a wonderful night. Make sure you subscribe, like the video as well, and follow me on Twitter, and we'll be just dandy. Have a wonderful evening. See you next time on Locked On Sports.